Hey everybody, Putty Katia here with my second in the series where I try to play through and review my Steam games, starting with the worst ones. Now, when I say the worst ones, I'm basing it on the Steam DB Wilson score, which takes the number of reviews into account and throws it all in an algorithm and gives it a score. So I'll put a link to that in the description, so if you want to read up on it, you can, as well as links to all the games on their Steam store pages. These are all games that cost money. None of them are free to play. Most of them I got from bundles, so I didn't pay retail for them. None of these are early access. If I get enough early access games on my bad list, I will make a special episode covering those early access games. But for now, these are all released games that cost money. So I hope you enjoy.
Ghost Pirates of Vuju Island. This game starts off with a cinematic where we meet our three main characters, which are the green guy, who knows everything, the pink girl with the tits, and the fat, short, funny one. I've slowed this down here so you can see how much effort they put into making her tits jiggle and little fat guy's eyes look at them. Sadly, they did not put as much effort into this next part where guy that knows everything's lips suddenly just stop moving altogether as he tells them what the hell is going on. Now that we've experienced some of the greatest cinematics of all-time gaming, let's get to the game. You just point and click. Click on stuff, then you click on other stuff. I switched to the fat guy, clicked on stuff, sneaking around. Switching to tits now, so I can click around and look at stuff. I couldn't figure out what am I supposed to be doing here. I was clicking on everything I could, and then I realized when you just click real fast, it goes to this default eyeball thing. But if you take your mouse down, you can click on the mouth, or more importantly, up here on the hat is the hand, which allows you to touch things. And bingo, stuff can be done. I actually played for 30 minutes before realizing that this was something that I should be doing. So after that, I started touching all the stuff that I could, picking up objects, going around and shaking ladders and doing everything I could. But by then my feelings of the game were tainted because I had spent so much time just doing nothing, and I felt like going back and having to click on everything with a hand was going to be not as much fun as it should have been. They should have told me in the beginning, use the hand. Next up is Tompy Jones, which has this flickering skull with multiple colors. I don't know what was up with that. We meet Tompy in this short little story thing, and you can tell already that this Tompy Jones character is nothing but nightmare fuel. Like most platformer games, we start out with a tutorial where it pops up what you need to do. But you gotta do a lot of stuff because Tompy has a lot of features, and they load you up with a lot of features right at the start. You have a bazillion weapons for some reason. I got to a point where I just kept dying over and over again in the second tutorial, and then I had to start the level all over again. Then I realized I could use the coins I collected to buy stuff, so I bought extra propeller helm thing and 15 extra lives. Hells yeah! And by doing that, I was able to kick some ass. I like this game. It is not really the best looking thing, but it has everything a platformer should have. You got your jumping, you got your sliding around, you got your not necessary to collect, but if you collect them, it will help you out. So, you know, I think this is the first game that I've actually enjoyed. And Tompy kind of grows on you after a while. And you do get to use these weapons. You fight some skeleton guys. They're kind of crude, but you do get to fight them. So I don't know what's up with them wearing thongs, but more power to them. I'm guessing not a whole lot of other people played this game because there's a leaderboard that shows where you are in the world ranking, and as you can see here, I was number 11 somehow. Moving right along, we have our next game, which is Global, a very unforgiving billiards game where they've got some fancy lighting going on. If you don't manage to get a ball in, you lose a point. If you scratch, you lose a point. And if your points go down to 0, you have to start over completely. So you better be good. Better be good at hitting them balls and them hole things, which might I point out are not they're not quite in the corner, so a little forgiving. Second level, you start off in the center, and if you hit one of those red things, it kerplodes your ball and you lose points. So it took me many attempts to do this second level here, as you can see. This is the second level. I hate to see what the next level is going to be. Eventually, I do beat it though. Let's slow it down here so you can see my attempts at finally defeating level 2 Global. Yes, nothing I can do here. Just kind of bank it off something. Oh wow, I'm magical. I suicided on purpose there. At third level, things really start to go poorly. The little red things start to show up randomly everywhere. So you gotta really try to use some fancy bank shots, get around shit. It's not going too well though. I start to realize that the little blue line that shows where you're bank shotting, not accurate. Not accurate at all, and I don't want to correct for its inaccuracy because that shouldn't be my job, game. That should be your job. Do it right. What's wrong with you? I think this is the pinnacle of me giving up, is this bank shot right here. So onward we go to our next game. Diner Town Detective Agency. I couldn't decide what mode to play, and then when I tried to play the modes, they crashed. Well, fuck you, game. I guess I'll just play relaxed mode, which is just a picture with stuff in it, and you click on the stuff. I think they call it hidden object game. But this is more like someone's got a messy laundromat game. So let's clean it up then. The next scene I tried was this messy department store, I guess. The game does not run for me in anything but windowed mode, and that window wasn't resizable. It took up about a little less than a quarter of my monitor, so it was really a strain to pick out these little items. I ended up using the hint thing whenever it came off cooldown because, my gosh, it's hard finding all these goddamn rulers in this scene. So I went to Google and I tried to find out, is there anything I can do to make this a little bit more playable? And I found out that if you rename 2 files, you can play in story mode. Hooray! Story mode! So now there was a point to finding these things. I'm trying to solve a mystery. And not only that, I get a little magnifying glass thing, which you have to use to find stuff that you actually can't see without it, but I just used it to find normal stuff because the frickin' window is so tiny. So, yay for that. Then you do some kind of logic puzzle type thing where you talk to people and you check off things and you solve the mystery. Great job! I solved the case of King Butt! And what would a review video be without another version of Ironclads? This time, Chincha Island Wars, I think it was. Yeah, we got the whole boat thing going on again, and it is exactly the same as the other Ironclads, except for I think maybe the boats are different. There's different countries involved, I know that much, but what makes this game much more exciting than the last one is right here where my cat gets on my lap and forces me to pet her. That really made the game much more enjoyable. As you can see in my streaming UI here, this game has 15% positive reviews. After doing some research, I've decided that that isn't really the best way of judging how good or bad a game is, because a game might not have a whole lot of reviews, but it might still be good or bad. So I'm using SteamDB's scoring, which is called the Wilson score. And I'll put a link to the information about that in the description. But basically, it takes a lot more factors into account. And their Wilson score of this game is a 1%, which I find to be highly accurate. So I have a list of all my games, and I sorted them by their Wilson score, and that determined the order in which I'm playing them and reviewing them. So this concludes the next 5 in that order, and hopefully I'll keep going and eventually get to the good games. Damn it, I failed to sink my own ship once again. What a failboat.
So those were the games this week. I guess if you want to see the previous games, you can click here, and when I get it done, you can probably click here to go to the next thing. Hopefully, I can figure out how to do annotations, and this will mean something. So, see you next time.